Hi everyone, welcome back to Poetology. It's been a while since I talked about projects I was involved in, so today I thought I would catch you up with what I did last year and some of the things I've already been involved in this year. There are 5 projects I'd like to tell you about, and I hope it will let you know a little bit more about what I'm doing with poetry and collage. If you are an artist or a writer, it will also be helpful for you to think about places where you can send your work and events you might want to be a part of. I had been much less active for a few years because of the COVID lockdowns and then issues with my health that prevented me from attending events and even writing as much as I would like. And it was great to finally have a few things happening that are bringing me closer towards what I want to be as a poet. The first one happened nearly a year ago now, and that was the Disabled Poets Prize. I submitted an unpublished pamphlet for the prize, and even though I wasn't one of the winners, I came out highly commended. This was particularly great because the judges were Jamie Hale from Cryptic Arts and Pascal Petit, who is a well-known poet here in the UK, and it was very encouraging to hear them say a few words about my unpublished pamphlet, Scar Tissue, after all the time I have spent on my own with it or just sharing poems with audiences here and there and some friends. It helps me feel like there is real potential for this pamphlet to be published, even though I am still looking for the right publisher. I have some footage from the announcement at Deptford Literary Festival last year on 16th March, and I will insert it right here.
As well as our 3 winners, we highly commended 3 entries. Dan Jobin's Scar Tissue for its raw power.
And the unflinchingly honest Scar Tissue dances intimately and elegantly through topics, entwining politics and the personal body.
Not only was this really encouraging, but on top of it, I was able to attend a professionalization workshop with Jamie Hale, and I also got a 1-year subscription to Being a Writer, the program by the literary consultancy, and so that has given me access to even more events, and I got £50, which, I'm always happy to take. Forgive me, Mum, for the nights I sprout hair and howl at the moon I use as a mirror, voice echoing hoarser and thicker each time. Doesn't this wild streak run in my blood? The shapeshift dew I rub into my thighs has me thirst for something other, yet I am not the first to stray. Hear me speak this newfangled tongue, a disturbance of air as I tilt my head upward, dizzy under the tense weight of the stars. Next one is something that I've mentioned in another video, which you can watch if you want. It was a publication of 2 poems in Cerasus Magazine. I also sent my unpublished pamphlet to Cerasus Poetry for a pamphlet competition, and even though my pamphlet didn't win, it was again shortlisted, and so all the shortlisted poets were invited to submit poems to this magazine. The poems I have here are called Testogel Fragments and Some Things Best Kept to Yourself. I will link the magazine below if you want to get a copy. It's really easy on Amazon and not very expensive either. The third event was an in-person reading, which I hadn't done for some time, with members of my online critique group. I'm part of this critique group that is organized by LQ. You can see my interview with LQ in this video. 4 of us were able to participate in this event at the National Poetry Library at the South Bank Centre in London, titled Other Languages, Othered Worlds. The other poets at the event were LQ, Anne Peltier-Topping, and Jinhao Xu. I was able to share a few poems to show one of my collages, the one that was exhibited at the museum in Canterbury the previous year. Have a look at that if you are not aware yet. And also to share a new project I'm invested in, where I'm presenting two poems, one next to the other, one being a sort of erasure / collage poem and the other one a response poem. The audience was very receptive and very engaged, so it was a wonderful time, and of course it's also really nice to be active and present something at the National Poetry Library, which is somewhere I like. You can also learn more about the Poetry Library in this other video. This year I was lucky enough to have another small publication in a little magazine I had never seen before, titled Trans Tongues, and this is volume 2 of this magazine. I discovered Trans Tongues by taking part in another event organized by Tea Art, and Tea Art is also a magazine. I will link everything in the description below. I attended an artist's launch in a space that they have in East London, where my partner was exhibiting some drawings. I got on the mailing list and was invited to submit to this other journal, and luckily I have a collage poem in it that looks like this. And again, I will leave the link below if you want to order the magazine. It supports a really wonderful group that's doing a lot of community work for queer artists and writers in London. Finally, I can also make the announcement that I am co-editing an issue of Magma, which is possibly my favorite poetry magazine, definitely one of the top favorites, and I am co-editing it with Paul Stevenson, who is the one who came up with the idea of doing an issue on ownership and then invited me and Kathy Pimlott to co-edit with him. This issue will come out in July, but we started working together last year. The call for submissions was out in November last year. We received a lot of submissions, have been through all of them once, and now we are in the process of selecting which are our favorites, trying to get fewer and fewer poems, which is difficult but interesting work. And I believe I will make a video specifically on that when we are closer to the launch of the magazine, to let you know what this process is like. It's the first time I am on the other side of a poetry publication, not sending out my work, but receiving other people's work. And it's really interesting to see what it's like. So these are 5 projects that I've been interested in. Magma is one of the reasons I haven't made as many videos over the last 2 months, but I hope that I will be able to post a little more. I would love to know what projects you are invested in and where you are sending out your work. Let me know about any plans you have or successes you've met, and I will see you again in the next video very soon. Bye!